Hey, this is Cole from Mellow AI. Today, we're going to talk about this idea that I saw on a Anthropic podcast. They were talking about tool calling for agents, and I thought it was a really interesting idea. Basically, they were taking their large tool calls and then distilling them into smaller ones and replacing them in the conversation. I thought this was pretty neat, and I hadn't really seen it in practice, so I decided to make a notebook about it. Jump in.
I feel like there's not a better time to release my Tombstone tutorial than on Halloween. So I hope everybody has a happy and safe Halloween, and let's dive into it. So first we'll install the packages that we need. So we have the OpenAI and TikToken package, and then we'll set up these libraries and import them. First we'll set up the GPT-5 tokenizer, and then a helper function just to count the tokens so we can see what the difference is. So we'll set up our OpenAI client here, and we'll set up a tool call. This is a get customer profile tool call, so something you'd see with a CRM or an agent acting in a CRM where it's passing in a customer ID and getting back a bunch of information. So here we'll do the same. We'll pass a customer ID, and then we're just going to return this long string of information. So next we'll set up our messages, our initial messages, and that's just going to be a user message just asking the LLM to grab this customer information. So we'll set that. Then here we're going to pass all of it to GPT-5 and get back an array of messages that we'll be able to alter later and condense. So the only one that we care about is the last one. It's going to be the tool call output. So we'll get that, and let's look at what that looks like. So that's the entire string that we had from our tool call, and it's super, super long. So let's see how many tokens it is exactly. So it's 708 tokens, and let's see what we can do to bring that down. So here we're going to start the creation of the tombstone. So I like to use structured output.
Structured output's a really good way to just get reproducible results from LLMs and understand exactly what's coming back and to segment it very easily. So I really recommend structured output for most things and an easy way to use LLMs in a predictable fashion in your app.
We'll set up this object here. That's a tool call summary. I just have the tool call name and the summary. You can return anything here. You can do keywords, insights, any kind of details. So really any kind of object you'd want to return. And then here we'll pass this to GPT-5 Nano with the long tool call, and then we'll format it in this tool call summary, and we'll get back our structured output so we can set up our new tool call message. Awesome. So here we can see customer profile summary is what the tool call name was, and then it condensed what we had down to not two sentences, but less than we had. So, and it kept really, really good details actually. It kept the specific name that I mentioned, like the position, their ARR, when they were onboarded, all of that. So we'll create a new tool call that we'll be able to add back into the messages and replace our old one with. So do the exact same structure that we had previously. The only difference is that we're going to have this information instead of our original. And as you can see, this is our new one. So exact same structure. The only difference is instead of the entirety of the tool call, it's a summarized version. So let's see how many tokens this is. So 234 tokens. So significantly less than what we had previously. And then what we can do is actually take that last message that we were looking at and just replace it with that. I will say just be cautious about replacing tool calls. Sometimes you do want to keep all of that information. It really depends. Maybe you want to do it later in the conversation. But I think this is kind of the open piece of this tombstoning idea is there's going to be different ways to format, different ways to insert, and different methodologies. So I think just experiment with it and figure out what works best for your particular use case. So that last message got replaced there. And if we look at all these messages, as you can see, this last one, instead of having our extremely long tool call, we have that summary in there now. So just to summarize like the results, so we started off with 708 and then we ended up at 234. So we got a total savings of like 66% as far as the context length goes. So you can really optimize this as well. You can make it way, way short. You can make it a little bit longer. There's so many different ways I think that you could use this to reduce the amount of tokens that you have in your context window, and as they become less important as well. I hope that it inspires you to do some new things with your LLMs in ways of like saving context window, the way that you use your agents, the way that you manage your tool calls throughout your agent workflows. So let me know if you have any thoughts, and I hope you have a great Halloween.